Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL Alon.
This Walsh.
Dude. Hello.
What's up, baby?
Hello, world.
We're back.
We're back. FPL's back.
Longest break we've had since episode 1.
I think so. Yeah.
We back.
We're back. The thrill is still there.
It's still, I still get it every year. It's still pumping.
Every year.
Yeah.
You think one year we just won't get it?
I don't know. Maybe. It's like so funny too, because last night I was like getting ready to go to bed and I was like, your team ID is the dumbest thing. Like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, and everyone in Discord's getting obviously wrapped up with like
Chrome extension.
I can only be seen if my ID is X 1 digit or 4 digit, whatever. Yeah. And I still couldn't like sleep last night. Like, I'm waking up at 4, I'm checking, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I went back to bed, I could barely fall back asleep. I open my eyes at 5:30, I look at my phone, I'm like, what the fuck? It's still I'm like a fucking mess. Dude, I'm like an absolute disaster.
It's like every time I was like running errands in the morning, I would come into my room, I would just refresh it like 8 times. Just check, just see what's happening. What if it's a 7? I'm fucking ID 1. I'm ID 420, my literal dream, and then obviously as soon as I step out, game goes live, you DM me, I'm like, I'll do it on my phone. Error. Okay, I'll just do it. So did you get a good one?
Small indie company. I didn't get that good. Let me check quickly. 14,803. 5 did not, not great, but not
terrible for men of our age. Up against the robots auto refreshing. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. It was funny because I was in bed. Damien came in, like, little morning ritual. We just kind of chill vibe in the bed for a few minutes before we get up. And I checked and I was like, oh, okay, it's not up. And then I rolled over and then whatever. And then I rolled back over like 5 minutes later. And I was just like, it was like within that 5-minute gap, I was like,
God, so close to perfection. Yeah.
What about you? You were out, so you have like...
I was out. I'm 52,342. At least I'm still 5 digits, I guess. But like, it's not great. I was 4 last. Right. We were both 4 last year, and it was very convenient to just. All right.
So in short, new listeners can turn this pod off. We're unserious managers.
Yeah. High ranks, no auto refresh, no bots working for us.
Unserious. No robots.
No minions managers. Refreshing for us. We should have just had a factory farm in China refreshing for us, but
probably not too expensive. Or India or something.
There's probably new listeners. Today we're just fucking vibes. I mean, you open the game. What'd you look at? What sticks out, prices, what do you even do? That's what I want to hear. But before that, should mention, because we never do and we're supposed to, that we have a Patreon, patreon.com/FMLFPL. Most people do it for the extra podcasts. Those are called Friday My Life. Those episodes start after game week 1. We also started doing live streams last year.
Podcast we do every Thursday of every week.
Every Thursday, every week. We started doing live streams last year, Rate My Team live streams. It's just like a hang in a room, and me and Walsh bring you up on stage with us, and we just chat about your team. It's really fun. It was great last year. So we'll do that starting the week of game week 1, so we can get those teams locked in.
A few days before game week 1.
Yeah, and then there's the Discord. What's the Nate line? I mean, it's a chat room.
Yeah, it's a chat room with all friends that you haven't met yet.
Yeah, exactly. So much kinetic energy of future friends.
Yeah.
It's just a 24/7 FPL fuck fest.
Yeah,
and more.
It's just fun. It's so funny because I think about that from just if I was just some random person listening to the podcast and I heard someone say that, I'd be like, you're fucking joking me. Like, I would never do that in a million years, but it's so ingrained in like the fabric of my life right now that I can't even imagine my life without it.
Yeah,
it's like another entity in my world is like, oh, Discord. Like, it's like all my Discord friends.
I mean,
like all the people.
you kind of had it with forums, right? Like forums is where you hung out on the internet and before, all this shit. I had it with IRC back in the Counter-Strike
I did
days.
the same thing with you in IRC,
yeah. So like I'm used to just like having a place to hang. You know what I mean? Come home, open this
on the computer.
On the computer.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, it's
and
a good
there's
place
a new T-shirt. Look at my T-shirt. Wow, incredible!
Wow.
Holy shit! Get in.
Yes. You know what it reminds me of? Kind of the Graflin.
Yeah,
mascot.
It's got a little griffin in there.
Yeah. All right, so let's get in. So game came out today. They do their standard typical leaking of prices. I don't know what they're up to for clicks.
Are we about to have
the
first rant of the season?
No, bro.
Save it.
Do you know what? Well, it's. I don't know if my brain's going to explode or melt. It's like very oscillates between both ends. But I wanted to start off actually very uncharacteristically positive for once about.
Let's go. Love
the
it.
Game. Okay,
go for it.
They
Mystery
fucking
chip.
nailed prices this year.
Prices
they
are
nailed
great.
The prices. I don't know if they hired one new intern who killed the rest of the interns and just took over the file, the price file or something, but they are so good. I mean, honestly, if we were consulted with the prices, it probably would have looked very, very similar to
very similar. Going through the prices, which is always the first thing I do, just team by team. I think there were 2 that I was like, I think those are actively wrong.
Yeah. I mean, and you'll look.
But literally 2. Like last
usually
year,
there are 15.
60. It was like every mid-price mid should be a premium mid, and every premium, it was just like all fucked last year. So that is very good.
So
good job by them.
Don't get used to it, but good job by you, Towers. Prices this year look great. Should make the game fun this year, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Love it. That's it for that.
Yeah. Should we start with the changes? I guess they did some changes.
Sure.
I mean,
I definitely don't want to get too stuck in the weeds but what do you
I want to hear your uncut thoughts on just when you heard about 5 free transfers. What did you immediately think? Like, how does that impact the game?
When I heard about, look, we have been doing this for too many years. Everything they do, the only impetus is to keep users engaged.
Yes.
That's literally the only thing that they care about. Always has been, but it's been, I think, more pronounced over the last 6 years or so.
Yeah.
With the addition of all of these extra flourishes to make it fancier or something. I don't really know. But I think that the rule of having only 2 free transfers was just fucking stupid to begin with. Like, I don't get why there was ever a cap. I mean, it's just more decision points that make the game more interesting. I would take it away completely. I would just have it be unlimited. Like, you can save forever. I mean, if you do that, your fucking team sucks. But I mean, why 5? Like, why not 8? Why? But I mean, in short, I think I haven't wrapped my head around, how it's going to actually pragmatically or practically change our approaches. Or maybe even change the value of a transfer, and perhaps it might do something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, I love the change, and I think that it is going to make the game a lot more fun. It just is going to give you so much more complexity.
Yeah.
What about you? How are you seeing it?
I had a much more negative initial reaction. Does it exist in Magic? Because that's your game, like a win more card. Is that a thing that people talk about ever?
Yeah, there are a lot of cards that you can classify as win more.
That was my first reaction to 5 free transfers. I was like, this is kind of a win more change. I'm like, the teams that are really template, really safe, out the gates, game week 1, no risks, they're just with the pack. I think they benefit more. Like, if you decide to take a risk, right, you're not going to have Holland or, insert whoever is over 60% owned, whatever. And that risk backfires, like, you're more ahead than you were in past seasons because those teams might just be rolling through game week 4. And like, they have 4 frees and they're ahead of you. I feel like they're just more ahead. So I'm worried about that. I'm worried that people who start well or start safe are just going to be more ahead than they have been in the past, which obviously I don't like. But then the other thing that came to mind was just like, you've been talking a lot about a better bench last year, and this just makes a better bench even better, right? Like the fact that like if someone gets injured, if someone gets suspended, whatever, you're fine. You put in your 6 million forward you like, your 5-5 mid you like instead of a 4-5 shitter and roll. And then you can be like, okay, now I have 4 frees. I can make all of the moves I want to make or whatever. That's great. So yeah, ultimately, I think it's probably for the better, but I'm a little worried about the win more mechanic.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to really play out that way because there are more games than ever. Players get injured. I mean, I think it's going to kind of trickle down to help everyone in an equal way. So. It's just going to make it, if you're behind, you save up to 3, you take a hit to do 4. You can just do more surgery because keeping your team intact isn't always better. I mean, it can be, but you could also, that could also come to great detriment by not making the change to getting I just thought like my house was on fire.
Yeah, is there a fire outside?
Yeah, they're just grilling we have new neighbors.
Oh, yeah, I see smoke.
Like, what the fuck is that? They're much more active in their backyard than our old neighbors who live everyone in there. So
I respect it. I respect it.
But no, I take your point though, because there are certainly going to be a few teams that just run out like, oh, I hit on all of the 50-50s and now I just have no need for a transfer. And then I have 4 and then I just do 2 to do this great switch and I still have 2 and then
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm a little worried about those. But
I just think it's not going to be. It's just not going to play out.
It's
like
also
that,
just
really.
in my notes. I have it just called the Nate chip because producer Nate. If you go on tour and you just AFK for 5 game weeks, like, hey, good news. You don't have to fucking use your wild card. You have 5 frees, so that's good.
Well, the other thing is that
zombie team chip.
You keep the banked after you wild card or whatever, right?
Yes.
Like it doesn't zero them out. Cool. So that'll be another little wrinkle. Yeah.
Yeah. And then mystery chip is an absolute joke. We're not going to talk about it. Do you think this is a game? Joke. Oh, wait, this is a dumb fucking game. Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
New points doesn't really matter. Keepers getting more for a goal.
I mean, they
doesn't matter
basically didn't change the point scoring structure at all. They did do some minor BPS. Yeah, some minor BPS adjustments. I mean, it's so hard for me to wrap my head around this. Like when it comes out in a chasm of just,
it's been one
getting
day.
Fouled is now 1 point in the bonus point system. Like I can't remember, there were all these games where like he got fouled 7
out
times.
Of BPS.
Yeah. And he finished out like -5 BPS. And then, oh my God, it would be. So, I mean, net idea of just, players that get fouled are going to get rewarded a little bit more is nice, and shots on target will help
the
neutralize.
A goal one is a big change.
Yeah.
To me, that's the one that I was like, oh, that's like a huge change. Like, everyone remembers last year, Spurs getting absolutely fucking done by Brighton, losing 4-0. Porro gets a meaningless assist in the 86th minute, gets 2 bones. Now,
there are games where you get ran
16 BPS, like no chance. Like he's nowhere near.
Yeah, I mean, but those are really like those are going to be the corner cases where you're not going to get a lucky 1 or 2 when you get pummeled and it was weird scorers or weird situations happen.
Any though, I mean, like honestly, like a 2-2 even.
Yeah,
like
but that's not that much.
Is a lot.
Isn't it minus? Is it -4 per goal conceded?
Yeah, 4 per goal
each. Yeah. So that
like -8, a 3-2 win where like a defender could get 1 or 2. It's like no, they're not getting. Yeah, they're just
so
not
basically,
getting.
If they concede more than 1, an attacking return isn't going to really put you in and amongst it.
Yeah, so
because that's the kind of thing like before. If it's a 2-2 game. And your center back scores a goal, you're like, oh, there's a good chance they'll be in the bonus.
Right.
And now it's just like it's I guess rare or not
seems
as likely.
Rare. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, and I don't want to spend more time on it. But you look at the highest bonus point scores is tied between Trips and Porro. I mean, they both conceded a fucking billion goals.
Yeah.
It's just like doesn't seem like those kind of guys are going to flourish as much.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
Fair.
We can move on. Yeah. So how do we want to do this? What'd you do? What do you do on day one?
I actually did a different thing this year than I've ever done. I still have my auto pick team on my page right now as we're potting. Usually what I do is I immediately make like, this is the team I would like, first reaction team kind of thing. And I just fill it and then I save it and I'm like, all right, this is what I operate off of. So initial first thing I did was literally go through every team page and just read the prices and kind of process, which ones we didn't have and go through.
Exactly what I did. Do you want to just do that? Should we just go through teams and just be like, oh, skip them, I don't care, or like this team was interesting, or
sure,
I don't know. Because since we did the same thing, I mean, so Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, if we do this, we won't have any more time to do anything else, but that might be fine.
That's okay, right?
Okay, yeah.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, we can ramble, go through them.
We're not doing questions. We're slapping asses later, but that's about it. I mean, I just want to hear your initial reads. And I wanted to like make a point of getting mine down somewhere I can save. So I was just taking notes on my computer, just so like I have it to reference back to, sort of.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is just Saka 1.5 million more than Odegaard. I was just like, oh, I guess I'm just not getting Saka. I mean, he's still a pick, but that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, especially for a winger. But I mean, I was really high on Odegaard before, and I still am, and I was hoping he would come in at 8 because I didn't think they would price him higher than Kai. Like, that didn't really make much sense to me in my head. But he's still, I think, a good price at 8.5, and it's tough because 2 years ago he had the 15 goals, last year he had the 8 goals. Where's his true talent level? Probably somewhere in between. And, he did do a little bit more like water carrying last year, and I'm hoping that maybe changes. I mean, he's still getting better. He's still young. He's still coming into himself. And I mean, there's another thing with him that I love is the same with Haaland is, he's one of a few players that we're going to talk about that are priced that you want in your team that were on break for 2 months or whatever, a month.
Yeah,
like they didn't play any football. So, you're going to have Saka coming back. Like maybe he's going to have a little bit minutes managed. Maybe he's blowing chunks. Maybe, I don't know. But
I'm sure they all get at least 2 or 3 weeks off.
They get a few weeks. Yeah, they get a few weeks. But it's still different. It's still less. And it's different putting your riggers through like a long tournament where every game is the highest.
I'm agreeing with you. He shouldn't be as sharp. He shouldn't be as fit when he comes back. That's normal. Yeah. That's expected. Yeah. He played 90, 89, 120, 120, 70, 68, 75. Started every game. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, Odegaard, you look at he's 8.5. Last year he finished 186. The year before he was 212. I mean, that feels like a very like min-max kind of thing. And 8.5, like, he could luck into a few pens maybe. Who knows? I don't, maybe there's some room for some higher ceilings to hit. I mean, I don't know what the bonus, he's usually really good on bonus, so that hopefully stays the same. So, I was really high on Odegaard. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I love him. So I definitely still want him, and I just am not, I'm a little worried that it's going to be hard to fit him in.
Yeah, I'm currently playing with him in because I like the price. I like the player. I think we're kind of buying low. I mean, the question you have to ask yourself is he really a 6 non-pen goal per season player, which is what he scored last year? And to me, it's like definitely more goals than that.
Yeah.
Like 6 is really low for someone as good at finishing and just as good a player.
I mean, I also hope that he stops giving Rice fucking corners. Rice is like a monster. Like, Rice needs to be in the box. If Odegaard's taking corners and you put Rice in there, I mean, you got 3, a few 4 more
assists. Yeah. That's all it needs. That's all he needs to be like back to 200 points.
Yeah. So still like that. What do you think about Kai at 8 back up forward?
I mean, so I saw it and I was like, seems fair. But like, okay, just doing like mental math. Okay, minus 16 points for cleans, minus 13 points for goals for mids. What's his upside? Like, I kind of got stuck on this question of just like, what's his upside? Can he score 20 goals? Like, no, I don't think so. Like, I know he was really, really hot to end the season, played mostly well for Germany, good player, like him, but I kind of am just like, Don't know. Like, probably won't make the cut, but fine, fair, decent price.
Yeah. I guess it's back to which we always have trouble doing this when we do the preseason pods of, looking at the player as the season totality versus, we're really not buying him for 38 game weeks. We're buying him for 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking at Arsenal's fixtures, they have home Wolves, at Villa, home Brighton, at Spuds, at City. They're not great. The first fixture is great.
Yeah.
The home Brighton fixture might be great. The aways
we really don't know. Yeah,
we really don't know. The aways are just hard. I mean, they're just all hard. One is the biggest Darb away of the season, which is always a cagey, who knows what to make of it affair. At Villa, game week 2 is going to be really hard. That's going to be Villa's home opener, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's tough. I think it's a tough sell for me with Kai right away.
It's tough. Like, it's tough, obviously, if you include away Spurs, away City. But even if you just went really short term, which is something I do want to do, first 3, like, it's still not that good.
Yeah,
it's still like fine. It's okay. It's like you can have a guy, but you're not stacking on this team. Yeah, you're not expecting a lot of goals like some other teams have, just like monster first 3.
Yeah. And then Saka at 10 mentioning is I think very, very accurate and good price.
Good price.
Still a good. Obviously, he's going to be a good pick. He's going to get. He's going to eat. He always does.
He's just so good, and it bothers me so much in Discord when England fans are like sub Saka, and I'm like, you're so fucking dumb. Yeah. He's the best player on the fucking team. But I mean, defense keeper. I mean, nah. I was like
uninterested before, and I'm continue to be uninterested. I mean, this is again like why I'm happy with the prices. That they haven't done anything egregious. That's like, oh, well, I must do this, or it's just stupid, and they are priced appropriately. And I'm sure plenty of people are going to have at least one defender.
Oh, sure, 100%. Yeah.
But for me, it's just.
I was hoping Timber would be 5, and then I could like maybe see a world like maybe he's actually nailed, and like maybe that's the guy. But like as of now, I'm like, I'll pass.
Yeah. Fair. Okay.
All right. Villa. Interesting
really
team.
Weird. Yeah, really weird one with them. Like. We have to also caveat all this with, some teams have been a lot more active than others in the window, and some squads are going to be looking a lot more settled than others. Yeah. I mean, this squad looks pretty settled, honestly, at this point, compared to some others. I mean, similar to Arsenal. They, if anything, have to get rid of some players, but I'm very interested in the 4-5 defenders. I know that their clean output last year was quite low. I expect that to just improve. I mean, they had so many games where they just, because Matis Cassius exists and was playing 2,000 minutes type things, that the individual error, conceded a goal, dominated the game, a hair's breadth away from keeping the clean. So Maatsen also is pretty interesting to me.
5,
Yeah, I know he's the most
expensive. Moreno and Dean are still there. I'm like, what's going on there? I feel like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, to me right now, my read of it is that he doesn't like him, and Dean is just too old and not reliable. I mean, I don't believe Maatsen was bought to bet in, or, they didn't spend 10 mil on him. They fucking opened wasn't a transfer fee.
40
wasn't it a
mil
record
or something?
fee, I think, for them?
It was a lot. A lot.
So I don't really care about the other two. I mean, Dean is far, far past it, and Alex Moreno seems like a headless chicken. So I know he's more expensive, but it's more of also like the Munoz kind of thing. Is Maatsen going to just be a winger, which, we know how he plays, the 3 center back
especially
type
if Konsa's on the right. Yeah. Then he's just allowed to just be in the final third all game. Yeah.
So
I'm glad you flagged that too, because I also just like in bold underline note in my notes, I said their defense was bad last year, but why? Like it just doesn't seem like the type of team that they finished 4th and all their defenders are 4-5. I'm just like, it just doesn't feel right to me. I mean, they sold Douglas Luiz, obviously
that doesn't really matter for their defense.
It matters for their defense because he's so not a DM. And he played every minute possible. And now they buy Onana and
Barkley,
Kamara.
pretty,
and Kamara should be back. I think by like a couple months into the season, something like that. So it's like, oh, they actually have a ball winner. I feel like 4.5 too
that
low.
guy Baranchea too is supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, I think he's decent. Yeah, the 4.5s. Yeah. So I mean, Konsa, Pau, and they're getting Mings back, which is going to be nice. I mean, we'll have to see how that settles. I mean, I would imagine that the back four is going to be Maatsen, Konsa right back, and then Pau and Mings center backs, right? I mean, that's Diego Carlos is on the bench.
It's just weird to do like double
Cash
lefty. I don't. Well, Cash is definitely not starting, but like two lefties is weird.
He could play Diego. I don't know. Diego Carlos looks like.
At the time, it was like, wow, they got Diego Carlos.
The injury, a couple years on his, a couple years on tread on his heart. Yeah. So,
but then there's also the question of like who's going to take pens. I think Bailey and Diaby are very fair priced, and if they find themselves nailed, like they could
Diaby, there are a lot of rumors around Diaby leaving Saudi. So I mean, if he goes and they don't replace him, it does make Bailey a bit more interesting. My bigger thing with Bailey is. The 6.5 price bracket's really crowded in midfield. Like there's Eze at 7, and then there's a smattering of guys at 6.5, and it's hard. I feel like it's going to be really hard to put him top of those charts, kind of thing. When he does he's just a winger, right? He kind of.
I mean, I'm scrolling through now. I mean, for me, like just like looking at the other 6.5s. I mean, Nkuku is the really obvious one that we'll get to soon. Yeah, but I'd probably put him ahead of all the other 6.5s.
Really?
Right now.
Garnacho?
Yeah.
I
really like Garnacho. I owned him for fucking all of his games last year for a reason. But I mean, if a nailed Bailey on a team that's 5 times as good, I'm like, yeah, he's just better.
Yeah.
But we'll see. That's all pending Diaby transfer. But Ollie at 9 also, and we don't know who's on pens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if TL's is on the pitch, it could be him. It could just be McGinn also.
Yeah, it could be McGinn, Tielemans, Bailey.
Yeah. But Watkins at 9, I mean...
Is it possible for him to improve on that season? That's my question to you.
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
Honestly,
19 and 18?
Yeah, especially when they're going to have more games and, he might get a couple hundred less minutes in the league, but... I mean, at this stage in his career, I mean, this is kind of who he is. That said, if he does do something similar, you're getting a 200-point player for $9 million, which is value.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's just
5 fantasy assists, which is another thing that I'm flagging up. Yeah. I'm like, that's just random, basically. Yeah.
I mean, I just expect him to regress, and also
me too.
I mean, he had 18 assists is. So many assists.
That's absurd. That's really crazy. Yeah.
So, I mean, if that goes down to 10, which is probably closer to real true level where it should be, then all of a sudden he's, muddled in the waters there. And I also look at him too at 9. I mean, I can't imagine an argument where he's better than Isak. I couldn't possibly
8-5 Isak.
Yeah, I couldn't possibly imagine what that would sound like.
Especially with the opening fixtures too. I mean, Isak's home Southampton, at Bournemouth, home Spurs, But I was also going to throw in, you mentioned the Ollie shit. I mean, I know expected assists is very imperfect stat, but he had 7.3 expected assists last year. 13 actual assists, 5 fantasy assists. I mean,
all these rebounds and getting taken down for pens were a bunch of
just crazy. Assists, yeah. That's just the ultimate regression candidate right there.
But it's still, all that said, 9, fine price, good pick.
Totally fine. I'm sure we'll see teams in our rate my teams and whatever with that fit in Ollie, and we're just like, yeah, it seems really good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at West Ham, home Arsenal is a little bit. That's aggravated that those are the first 2. Yeah. But so price to buy, good prices on this team. Yeah.
Bournemouth. I have very few Bournemouth thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can. I think, you have the 4-5 defender that you might be able to chuck into a rotation at some point. And then Dom, 7-5, good price.
Okay.
Tough fixtures, though. I mean, they're at NFO, home Newcastle, at Everton, home Chelsea, at Liverpool. So I feel like this is also pretty emblematic to Bournemouth. Like, they have this really bad fixture run. And then they have a really good one. So, I mean, we're not really looking at this team, it looks like, until game week 11 or so, and their fixtures kind of turn.
Yeah, and I know that not all the prices are the same, especially like Dom and Senesi, but looking at their team, it just feels like the exact same team with the exact same prices.
Yeah, and it kind of is. I mean, they reclassified Semenyo to be a cheap midfielder at 5-5, which is a little bit interesting because you could talk to me there. Otherwise, there's just nothing on this team besides Dom, cheap 4-5 defenders, and so it's pretty boring.
Brentford.
Brenham, go ahead. What do you see there?
Well, my first reaction was, who the fuck is Igor Thiago? Because I just totally missed that they made that transfer in January last year, but he is interesting. I mean, so much of this just hinges on is Tony going to be there by game week 1? Because Bumo's 7, that's totally fine. If Tony's not there, it's good. Wissa's 6, that's good. Thiago's 6, that's good. But if Tony's there, none of those are good.
Yeah, I mean, if Tony leaves, Bumo is automatically in the team.
Yeah,
it's not even a question if he goes. Yeah,
and he's another guy that you would compare to Bailey and just be like, nah,
no chance.
No,
I mean,
shot.
then Bumo is, and Eze would be 1A and 1B in the mid price with piss hair maybe at 7-5.
Yeah, but otherwise it's similar to Bournemouth. Again, you could bring in a 4-5 defender keeper for a good run. Otherwise, you're probably not looking at them.
Yeah, Flecken's a bit interesting. I mean, they're opening run home Palace, at Liverpool, home Southampton, at City, at Spurs.
Skip.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 tough aways. Palace game week 1 is not an easy fixture, so they really only have one good fixture in the first 5, which is not really where you want to be. What do you think about Tony at 7-5? I mean, if he stays, is there going to be?
If he stays, I mean, he's priced to buy. If he has shown zero slowing down. I mean, he came back, he was really good. He subbed on for England, was really good. I mean,
he wasn't really good when he was back. I mean, he's was dropped for a month
that's true.
And a half,
I mean, he had a run when he came back from the ban.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, man.
What are they? I just don't understand how they're possibly going to keep him.
There's no way.
But no one's. Who's buying him?
I mean, all they need is one guy to get injured on any top 50 team in the world. And they'll come
knocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's it. That's all it takes is one striker injury.
That's probably the biggest thing of the whole game in terms of a transfer, because it just would make Bumo
the dominoes,
unbelievable again. I mean, he was last year when Tony was out. So 7 million.
Really hard to price Bumo. 7's just in the middle, sort of, because it's if they knew Tony wasn't there, he should have one price, and if Tony's staying, he should have another price, because he really is just such a different player.
I think yes. I mean, 7, maybe you could go 7-5. I think 7's fine.
It's fine.
Brighton, yeah. I mean, Brighton's tough right now.
Brighton's so interesting.
Yeah. Their squad has 5,000 players.
Bunch of new players. Yeah, it's really hard. Just a lot of guys to watch. I mean, Minte at 5-5, Ferguson at 5-5. I'm really interested in both of those. Prices seem very low to me. But yeah, it's too early, I think. It's too early.
Yeah, I mean, they have the 4-5 defenders. That is nice. You can put them in a rotation. It looks like the Hertzler, the new manager's going to play with 3 at the back kind of thing. And Bart, I think, is fine.
Bart's good. Yeah, I forgot about Bart. Yeah.
Barco is a little bit interesting at 4 because it seems like Purvis. We were talking about this a little bit.
Yeah, what's the deal with Purvis? Yeah,
I don't know. He had surgery. He's not going to be fit for a while. So Barco could just be left wing back.
Barco could be incredible.
Yeah, he could be great. So that's one to watch because, I mean, I would imagine it's going to be Igor, Dwonk, and Van Heckening as the back 3 with
that's nailed.
Someone playing right wing back. It could be Lamptey. It could be any one of the mids listed.
It could be Minte, actually, also.
Yeah, it could be. But I mean, in terms of left wing back, I don't know how much. I mean, he could put Matoma there, I suppose, depending on how he sees things going.
That seems crazy extreme, though, with like what they think of Barco and, how he Barco kind of ended the season. Yeah.
Yeah, but Barco could be a really nice 4 million guy, honestly.
Yeah. He could be in every team really soon.
Yeah. My concern with him is just that he's a little tiny child and he seems like his head goes really quickly, that, they don't have great fixtures to begin with. Their first 3, you don't really want to start a defender in any of those 3. At Everton, home Man United, at Arsenal, and then it's home Ipswich, home NFO, which you obviously want to start a defender in both of those. He could have 2 bad games and you don't see him for 2 months. He's very victim to that, which is a little bit concerning to me, but João Pedro
if you're playing the short-term game, which is, again, like something I'm going to try and do, I mean, you just don't have a Brighton player. And straight up, with away Everton, home United, away Arsenal.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, João Pedro is also
great.
Yeah, I mean, 5'5", he should have pens. We have to see where he plays, obviously, but even if he's playing somewhat reverse out of position or he's one of the roaming, the little deep lying forwards, he's
so good. He was so good. Yeah.
He was so good last year. I mean, he could break out. That's very possible. Yeah. He's starting to come into more maturation age, and he's got a lot of real meaningful Premier League minutes under his belt. So he's definitely interesting.
That's why I'm actually more interested in Ferguson.
Are you? Okay.
Because he had a lost year last year. Obviously, he played less than half a season.
Yeah, he's hurt too, though. It seems
he's 19.
Yeah.
Still only 19. He still scored 6 goals. I mean, he scored more than 6 non-penalty goals, more than João, more than fucking Matto, Jesus, Kevin. Same number of goals as Bruno, Martinelli, like all the Odegaard. Like it was still kind of a good goal scoring season for him. And pre last season, everyone was like, oh, well, after this season, he'll probably go for 100 or 150 mil. He's like the best young striker in the world. And then he was fucking injured. Their whole team was injured. Nightmare. And I'm like, yeah, he still is that prospect. He just, got hurt and, missed most of the year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there could be a time this year where he's
if he could just be the starting striker game week 1. And then
he's hurt, though. It says on the fucking thing. He's
I don't know.
October.
I don't know what the fuck that is, because I thought he was fine, but maybe
Chelsea?
Not fine. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned in Cuckoo before, it's the easy place to start. I mean, he's sort of a game-breaking price. He's one of the 2 aforementioned guys on my list that I was just like, oh, that's wrong. I mean, he was one of the best attackers in Europe for 2 seasons prior to last season on the bounce in a row. And then he just has a season where he plays like no games and he's just hurt the entire year. He's still young. He's still in his prime. He could even get better.
And he's going to get more points for cleans and goals scored than he was going to last year. He's declassified at midfield.
I mean, he could single-handedly break the game. He could, funny enough, do a Palmer. I mean, he could just be like a fucking monster if he is fit.
Without pens, it's going to be hard to kind of hit those heights.
Yes.
But I mean, in terms of just 6'5", I mean, this is a player that was a few years ago, it was like 10-5 in fantasy Champions League games.
Yes.
And now he's, 6'5", he's fucking chalked in there with
6'5".
Yeah, I mean, he's chalked in there with like Pedro Neto and shit
and
in
like
FPL.
Bernardo Silva. It's it just is a mistake, I think. I mean, listen, I might eat my words. He might be hurt. He might, whatever. But yeah, I mean, he has crazy upside.
I mean, he is nailed as long as he's fit. We just don't know his fitness. He was coming back into fitness at the end of last year. I imagine he should be entering camp fit this year. As long as he's fit game week 1, I don't really understand, unless if you're bench boosting game week 1 and wild carding game week 2, and you just want to swerve the City game. I mean, he's the most obvious pick in the game to me.
Most obvious pick in the game. Completely agree.
Yeah. So
just like you see the price, you put him in the team.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Champions League too, because I went back to look because, like, Bundesliga. Sometimes you get these guys from Bundesliga, and it's like, oh well, they don't play defense or whatever. City. Yeah, he fucking every game in the Champions League. He's like, oh, score with PSG, Real Madrid, and City.
He's unplayable on his day, and he's still in his prime. So, yeah, I mean, Nkunku is an obvious pick. What do you think about Palm God?
The short-term fixtures, I just want to re-emphasize, I do think are bad. I mean, Home City's obviously bad. Home Palace, we both think is pretty bad. And then, the one, like, good one is away. So it's not ideal for, like, a short-term type of thing. And maybe we'll just all bring him in after that. But, yeah, I mean, he's great. Palmer's, I mean, he's earned it. There's nothing about him or his numbers or the eye test or his international, break tournament contributions that mean he shouldn't be 10-5. I just don't know, with Haaland at 15 and not the best fixtures and Nkunku 6'5". I just don't know if he's going to find a way in the team, but I'm sure like there's going to be a point where Chelsea have a good run and we're all going to double or triple up and Palmer's going to be one of them. I totally believe that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, this is more to me, you're looking at him with, who are you sacrificing between the ultra premiums with Haaland, Mo, Palm God, and Saka, right? Like you can't really have more than two of them. And, which are you going to pick kind of thing?
Yeah. And with their fixtures, for me, it's not Palmer.
Yeah. I do prefer him to Saka, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I like him a lot. I like everything about him. He should have probably played more for England. He's fucking really good.
Yeah, he's really good. And the other thing with him,
the center backs and the keeper go ahead.
He's not necessarily priced to buy. He's just priced accurately. He hasn't hit his heights yet. I mean, I know he just put 244 and it sounds ridiculous, but I believe that. Like, I think that there's more. He missed fucking 7 games.
Yeah,
and I know he over
29 games.
Yeah. And I know he over the X numbers generally, but he's also, it was his first season starting in his life as a senior professional for any prolonged period of time. And, he has set pieces, he has pens, he has open play assists.
He has everything.
He has every single thing.
They just found an actual superstar that no one really knew about.
So
a 10-5
might be cheap.
Yeah,
honestly.
it might be cheap. Yeah, he might just be 12-5, 13. A guy like on Twitter after some of his England appearances just tweeted like City really sold like 300 plus goal contributions in the next decade by selling Palmer. Like he's just that age to do what he's doing. It's fucking crazy.
It's still so fun. Like I remember like a few years ago when he like subbed on game week 35 dead. And we're like, whoa, like this kid's fucking good.
Yeah, he's just doing back heels and just like little lanky
he like had
fucker.
One start in game week 37 when the title was, I don't know, it was like some meaningless game where just like, oh, Palmer's like so good. But the defenders you were saying?
It's just interesting. They're all, 4-5. The defenders and the keepers. I mean, obviously they had like the first half-ish season from hell last year, but they kind of got back into shape. They have a new manager. Like, we don't know what that means for the team. They get Dewsbury Hall, like maybe they're just going to be fine and good. I mean, their end of season numbers were really not that bad. And if you factor in how fucking awful they were at the beginning of the season, like that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's definitely defenders here that are interesting. Yeah. We do need to just see Amoruska, how things settle and,
and there's
who he's
so
picking.
Many guys.
There's so many guys. Yeah. I mean, W. Fofana's back. They got
Tosin
back. They brought Tosin in. So who is he going to prefer? You could tell me anything from this list of players. Kepa's back. Rom's back. Yeah,
so good.
a lot to sift through.
We're back.
Gallagher, we don't know what's going on with him, so there's still some settling of the squad. But
yes.
N dot at 7-5, probably a tough sell there.
Tough sell. with the fixtures.
But I think it's all about Nkunku, honestly. I mean, he's just like,
I agree.
He's the one on this team right now.
Do you want to guess who my other one that I wrote down is just, I think this price is just incorrect. Nkunku's
Cancelo?
No, but I love that.
Wrong. Let me see. I didn't really do this, so I'm racking my brain right now.
Yeah, it's hard. But I'm sure everyone's
Is it like Adam Armstrong or something?
No, it's Lissandro.
4 or 5, yeah, fine.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
like there's no reason for him to be 4 or 5. They just did it, and now he's going to be in every team. And
he reminds me a lot of Botmania last year.
Yep.
Didn't work out.
Makes no sense. Yeah, didn't work out. Didn't work out. Very true.
Yeah, he should be 5. But I mean, when it's a 0.5, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's whatever. But in defense, I do care.
Sure.
You know,
he's I mean, I think similarly, Aït-Nouri, wrong. He should be 5.
Yeah, that's probably fair with his attacking.
He was playing like fucking auxiliary striker for many games. Yeah. Okay.
Palace,
next.
skip, right?
Yeah, we can skip Palace. Everton.
Okay, bro, calm down.
I mean, we knew no surprises here.
No surprises at all. Yeah.
Munoz, 5.
Should be 5. Good.
I mean, Mitchell is the biggest surprise and the biggest joke that he's 5. He should be 4 or 5.
That's funny because he gets like 1 assist or some shit. Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple of attacks, but goalies 4 or 5. I think honestly the biggest one here to watch is Kamada at 5-5.
Yeah, I'm really into that. Yeah,
because theoretically he's going to be playing as one of the attacking 3 players, and he played for Stuttgart and they kind of they exceeded expectations, but they didn't have like Mateta and Eze on that team at any time. Kamada was probably like the best player on Stuttgart in the attacking kind of input, or like those players. And then similarly goes to Japan. It's like, he's not young, knows the manager, smart player. Have we seen the best of him? I don't know. I mean, could he do something like a 9-9 season? Yeah. And he does 100%. Like a 180? It's possible.
100%. Very possible.
Yeah. So 5-5.
He's done it before. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 5-5, like interesting guy to me, that if you can figure out a rotation where you can maybe bench him or hide him in some of the tough ways, play your third striker kind of thing.
Yeah.
5-5 is a good price there. So I'm interested in him. I love him. I love him.
Same thing. Yeah. He just comes in. He's good at everything. He comes in for at least his minutes. Manager likes him. He feels older to me. Like I opened his page, I expected him to be 30. Like he's 27. He's like 27. He's totally prime, Yeah. So I love that. Great signing. I think, I like it a lot.
It's just gonna be really interesting to see how he looks at everyone being fit. Like we're gonna have Lerma, Wharton, and Doucouré all fit. It's like how. We have too many players. Then we have more than 11 players,
right?
So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how he puts everyone together.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Everton,
DCL's priced by. Yeah, I mean, we touched on him a little bit at the end of last season, but dude, $6 million. I'm sorry, right? Like he's in the João Ladro kind of area and bracket where. Do Everton win as many pens? They haven't. Not to say that that's a predictor of future penals, but he had a weird season last year, right? Where he was kind of benched for some games, not fit for some game. So preseason's really important with him, to me. But home Brighton, at Spurs, home Bournemouth. I mean, those are games where goals can be scored.
Yep.
And they have a pretty kind run after that. I mean, they don't really play any of the top 4 until game week 15. So, I'm interested in DCL again.
Very interested.
I mean, broken record. You're similarly?
Yeah. I mean,
better than Ladro?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Because of the fixtures?
And the nailedness. I mean, Brighton also just have like 20 guys.
Good player,
Matoma's back fit. March is back fit. Buonanotte, fucking Ferguson, maybe. They just have a million guys.
And they have Beto.
And Beto.
Well, they got Ndiaye and I don't know.
Yeah, I think Ndiaye will be right wing or something like that. But, DCL was like getting big chances all the time. I mean, he's the worst finisher in the league, but he was also the worst finisher in the league when he scored 16 goals because he gets so many good chances. And he wasn't even taking pens that year.
Yeah, he just wasn't the worst finisher in the league for like 2 months, which is all you need.
That's all it takes. Yeah. So yeah, very interested, very cheap, like the fixtures. Like I could very much see a world where he's in my Game Week 1 team.
Same. I can very much also see that world.
Yeah, and Mikalenko for me also is just sort of like why is he 4-5? You know what I mean? Like,
well, he sucks, so that's one reason.
He sucks. So does
Tarkowski. He's 5.
And Pickford. And they're both 5. So it doesn't really make that much sense. There's no competition at all for Mikalenko. He sometimes gets kind of far forward. And they're a good defense. So, whatever.
Great 4-5. He's a great 4-5.
Great pick.
There's so many great 4-5s.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The pricing, dude. You're right. The pricing, they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
This is how it should feel. It should feel like I have a pool at this bracket I like. I have a pool at this bracket I like. And a pool at this bracket I like. And I have to choose one from each.
Yeah. All right. So, Everton, there's some options there. Fulham.
Muniz,
pool that you're not picking from is the Leno at 5.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And their defense is good, but they also lost Paulinho.
Yeah. We don't know if it is good. It used to be good.
Good.
We don't know if it will be good.
Hole in the team now. But Muniz, I'm interested in also.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Right next to DCL.
Yeah.
Same price. Really. Yeah, probably best in the league opening 3 fixtures. Like they have home Leicester and away Ipswich in those.
Yeah, 2 aways those. But yeah, I mean, they're good. They have good fixtures.
Yeah, really,
might be
really
on pens.
Good. Might be on pens. We don't know.
Yeah.
Good. If he just continues where he left off last year, that's a fucking ridiculous steal. If you weight in his lack of any history or success and he takes a little bit of step back, still might be a reasonable price.
Yeah.
But I mean, it probably worth the risk.
I mean, if we got news that he would be on pens, it would be a huge boon for his, FPL-ness.
I think he would maybe find his way into like pretty much every team if he was on pens.
Could.
Possibly.
Yeah,
possibly.
Could.
Liverpool.
Again, 4 or 5 defenders too, right? I mean, there's
4 or 5
Anthony,
defenders,
there's Castagna. I mean,
they just need to replace Paulinho.
Yep.
It's a humongous hole to fix.
Yeah, and I mean, they've just done nothing but lose players, so we have to see who they buy.
Somehow they're one of those teams that always seem money fucked, but I don't know who they buy when.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Have random guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we could probably skip all the promoted teams.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I didn't even put notes on them. I don't know any of the fucking players on the teams.
So Liverpool.
I haven't done that research yet.
Your team. What do we got?
Yeah, Liverpool, I think, just like good, fair pricing. Do you think Trent down to 7 is too low? I mean, he hasn't been 7 since the 2019 season.
I mean, I'm not going to pick nits about 0.5. I mean, 7.57. It's like,
Yeah.
I think that maybe there are a few factors here that where I'm better with 7 is just that I think you're more likely to stretch and put him in your team if he's 7. Yes. But I think by no means is it like, oh God, everyone has Trent. Mm-hmm. He's not 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if 7.5 is a bigger ask and they have a new manager, the bonus points changes could matter for him significantly.
A lot,
because he farmed bonus points for fun, no matter what they did with cleans or not, because of the chance created and stuff. So, I mean, if you take away 10 bonus points and, all of a sudden he drops down significantly to a more,
he's a 180 player, not a 200 point player or something.
I mean, it's still a good price.
It's a good price.
I don't think I'll have him, but I
don't like the opening clean sheet fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, away Ipswich on the opening day. They always get an away promoted team opening day every year. I don't know why.
And they score a lot.
They score
often.
every year. Yeah,
I mean, home Brentford and away Man United also. It's just like, I just don't like those for cleans. They're just like annoying games.
Yeah, new manager. I mean, they're going to have to develop understanding of the system. And that's all working against him. So,
agreed. Yeah, so probably won't go there also. But the opening three that we just mentioned are very good for attack. So, Mo ends the season poorly as he's done before. Pre-AFCON and the injury at AFCON, he was the best pick in the game. Hard for me to not go there. It's just really hard for me to not go there.
I'm with you. I mean, like making a team with Mo and Holland is not hard.
Not
even though
hard.
They're both the two most expensive players in the game.
There's so many guys we like who are cheap.
Yeah. So I mean, the best time to have Mo is going to be game week 1 to 10 or whatever.
Always is.
Always is. This is even more. Look, he lost a step. We've been talking about his inability to dribble players and take players on over the last, year, 18 months. All that said, he was still eating the whole time. Like he has the underlying, his movement's elite. He's still one of the best players in the world. So he also didn't play this summer. I mean, when was the last time he had the Norway time off that like Odegaard or Holland had? It's been a long time. Yeah. So this was really the longest rest he's had for a few years. And before the pile up, before they have other competitions, yes, they have the new manager, but I still, you look at these a nice kind opening run. They don't have a tough fixture until really at Arsenal game week 9. Yeah, I mean Mo, it's hard to go against Mo, honestly. To me,
I agree.
Yeah.
And the other attackers are all just like we're waiting. We're waiting to see how the dominoes fall.
We don't know if he's going to be.
He's probably going to get fucking suspended, right?
I mean,
how could he not?
What's the story with that? Like, who holds his fate in the palm of their hands? Is it FIFA? Is it the FA?
FIFA? Yeah, FA. I actually have no idea because I don't know about that kind of shit. But like, how could he not get suspended? Yeah. It seems shocking to me that he wouldn't.
Okay.
But obviously, CONMEBOL was a nightmare in that tournament. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they get banned.
That would be amazing.
But all the attackers are 7.5, right? Like Gakpo 7.5, Darwin 7.5, Jota 7.5, Diaz 7.5.
Yeah.
We need new manager. Wait. We don't know anything. We don't know.
Yeah,
anything.
We need to wait on Liverpool. I mean, there could be other picks emerging, but we ultimately expect, as every year has passed over the last 5. Mo's the best player on the team ish.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be built around him. He's, he has his hand in the pie. Almost every goal involvement is there. Goals or assists. So. Yeah, and the bonus points with the fouls and shit could benefit him. He's usually really bad on bonus points. So Mo's still Mo.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, they also haven't bought anyone. But we there's just too much in flux. With them right now.
Yeah. One mistake they did make here was Queeve at 4.5. I don't they put Ortega at 5.5. I don't know why they saw this differently.
That was a mistake. Yep. As usual. That's a usual mistake that they make for no reason. Yeah.
So Man City.
Yeah, City. Gvard at 6 is really nice. Gotta say. Really nice. I thought he might be higher.
Really? I'm not sold there, honestly.
Okay.
I just felt like the end of the season was like a really spiky, kind of lucky, meaningless game, falling into things. I mean, is he really going to keep playing left wing? He might. Look, he might.
Yeah,
okay.
He might.
And I felt like there was almost just this confluence of amazing situations and circumstances for him, and we had this, very, this taste in our mouths at the end of the season, and I'm just a little skeptical on it. I'm much happier to swerve him and swerve the I'm swerving all the other than Trent. I'm nowhere near any of the expensive defenders, but there could be, that could be completely wrong, and it could be game week 4, and it's you're
well. That's
an
the
idiot
thing. It's with City defenders, I feel like a lot of times the best time to own is game week 1.
Game week 1,
pre-Champions League, the nailed first choice guys play 90 minutes every week. You don't have to worry about that shit, and they have more than good enough fixtures, to clean.
Yeah, I mean they either concede 0 or 1, and it's which side of that coin are you going to get to?
You could get lucky; they could just rattle off 4 in the first 4, and you're like, okay,
or they could concede 3 goals in the first 4, and you're fucked.
Yep. And I just think it's good.
You're interested.
I'm very interested.
Okay.
Kev95 is also just like, man, that's a gift. But like, if you start your team with Holland, Mo, it's tough, dude. It's tough to get there.
That's not really doable to get there. I mean, if you want to do the Kev, if you want to do Mo and Holland, but it's just the years are piling up for Kev, and how consistent, how much, we just don't know. And yeah, I mean, 9.5 is a good price, but at what cost? You're gonna have to make sacrifices to put him in, and you'd have to look at really like that's the no Holland team where you're just like, this is the gamble.
Maybe. Yeah,
I'm gonna spread it out and have Palmer, Saka, Kev, Mo.
Maybe.
DCL, like these
I think
6'5",
it's
7'5" forwards. Yeah, it's something else.
Yeah.
Is that better though than just the automatic? Probably not.
Probably not, but like
that's something we have to wait. We have to tinker
I'm also
more.
sick of just being like, well, this is the better obvious thing, so do it. I don't know where I'm gonna fall on that yet, but
sure.
Like Kev 9.5, still amazing when he plays, and again, like sort of similar to the defenders pre-Champions League, he's fucking playing every game. He's playing 90 in every game. At least historically. But the risk of no Holland is game week 2, you're falling 40 points behind.
Or you cap him game week 2 and you're like, okay, I got lucky here. I leveled it, or I'm in the ballpark. And I also just feel
but
like
it would be luck. Like that would be luck. If you captain Kev and everyone else captains Holland, which they will, and you don't fall behind in points in a home Ipswich, like that's lucky.
Yeah. And, I just still feel like he's going to not be fit game week 1. Like
Kevin, I know. I feel like he's never fucking fit.
Like he's going to barely do anything in preseason. Like he'll, so he's just, it's so hard to expect anything consistent from him, where Pep clearly is like, okay, it's going to be this 6 weeks and then you're not going to do anything. That's going to be the, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's
and
tough.
Foden 9.5 too. I mean,
he
earned it.
He earned it, and I don't know if there's a pick there.
Yeah, I'm pretty good on that.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on passing there. I mean, and Holland at 15. I mean, yes, he
highest
should be 15.
Price ever. Yep.
He should be.
They did a good job. Yep.
So where are you at? With having or not having Holland right now?
I mean, it sounds boring, and I'm sure I haven't listened to a single or read a single FPL thing. I was barely even on Discord today, but I'm sure everyone's talking about the fact that just like you kind of just home Ipswich, I kind of just gotta get him. Like it's just ridiculous. Like I might triple captain it game week 2. I don't think it's stupid at all, and I expect a hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, if Ipswich look all over the show against your team and City just like look good and beat Chelsea. Yeah, you're probably conservatively looking at a double return for the Ipswich game.
Yeah,
and he's going to be captained by a lot of managers.
I mean, all
so
basically.
You're really risking game week 2 if you don't have Holland. Game week 4, home Brentford is like you're capping him if you have Holland. No, make no mistake about it. Is that a banker? No, it's not.
No.
Could he score a brace? Yes, he could. Outside of that, you are really looking at 2 caps in 6.
Yep.
That's what you're doing.
I mean,
that's
is this where we talk about wildcard game week 3?
Yeah, or game week 4.
Wildcard him out?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, international break between 3 and 4.
I don't think that's unreasonable. Like you could definitely, we talked about this ad nauseum at the end of last season, right? You don't really need him in these runs where they don't have the bankers. Where he's not actually like obviously he always has hat trick potential. You could get 2 pens in one game, obviously, but not the fucking nailed on, home Ipswich, home Southampton later, whatever bankers there are. They don't really exist in his fixture list. Even like away West Ham. I mean, I know they were bad last year, but
not on love. I mean, that's a bad fixture.
It's a bad attacking fixture.
You're lucky if you get a return in that game.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm with you, but it's just at 15. it's hard for me to imagine like a plan that isn't ridiculous to like transfer him out in game week 3. What's that plan?
Yeah. No, there's not a plan, and this is more in depth. I think like conversations that we'll have in the coming month. But
and the next spot is the high price spot.
Sure, what to do with Haaland and what the team looks like and what it could look like. It's it is the big game week 2 Ipswich gamble. Ultimately,
that's it. It's everything.
That's it. So. The things that you need to weigh is, who am I captaining that game week if I don't have him? And what's my plan and strategy after that? Like, how comfortable am I to maybe divest out of Haaland? And how quickly can I spread those funds around? And what does my team look like? And also just what does the team look like with and without him? Because, like, you have to be... Like, look, if you have like, I can get Saka instead of Odegaard, I'm like, I don't even know if that's better.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's better.
Yeah, but if you're getting Trent, Vard, and whatever instead of 4-5, 4-5, 4-5, then it's like okay, maybe
Palmer over in Cuckoo. I'm like, like he's gonna score more points.
If you're stacking your mid in this way that you can get, and the mid priced or lower priced forwards are emerging that you have Isak and DCL. I don't know who those players are. But it's just the captain in game week 2 just feels like if you maybe you don't have Haaland, maybe he doesn't do much against Chelsea. You have a decent game week 1, and then game week 2 he has 2, 3, 4 returns capped by everyone, and then you go from $1 million to 5 million, and you're like, well, now what do I do?
That's the thing. It's like that's why I said that I put a number on it. I feel like it's easier to understand just raw points. Like, if you don't have Haaland, I think you should expect to be in a 40-ish point hole game week 2. 20-pointer, something like that.
20 is crazy. Return.
Okay, what's a hat trick? 17. Max Bones, 3 goals.
But I mean, you can't expect a hat trick. Like,
every season it's only been 2 seasons in England. He has like 2 hat tricks in the first month.
Yeah.
It's just like fucking automatic. He does it every season. Yeah. I mean, okay, let's just say conservatively, Brace. You have to expect to be in a 26-point hole.
Yeah.
And like, that's so many points to make up. I just don't know how you can do that.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, to me, it is just like him. And this is where Mo is a little trickier because, the fixtures make it more convoluted because Mo has better fixtures, but we know that Haaland's a better FPL player, obviously.
Yeah.
And, having one and not the other does afford you a multitude of options for the rest of your squad versus having both of them. And, you could definitely tell me, like, I'd rather have Mo for the first 6 than Haaland, and then I'd rather have Haaland for, like, the next 30.
Sure.
And maybe you can get away with that. It's just, like, that chunking of points is difficult. Like, making
Here's
it up.
The thing
when
also
are you
is like, what's the math on, like, let's just say that is your standpoint. You want Mo 1 through 6 over Haaland? Sure. Okay, what if you just went Haaland anyway and then hit him out in game week 3 and got Mo? Like, isn't that worth it? Like, we're saying he's a floor of a brace. Like, that's how I'm thinking about that fixture. Floor brace.
I mean, we're getting a little hyperbolic here, I think.
He's 15 for a reason, dude.
No, I know that. But floor is not a brace, dude. Like, a brace is like a fantastic game that doesn't happen very often. It's obviously he's flat track bully. It's Ipswich's home. Like, yes, all of those things are intact. But he could also just score a goal in that game and get 8 points. And you're like, oh yeah, like then I'm not hurt.
I just think it's kind of unreasonable to expect that.
No,
like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I would expect
a really
a double return.
Conservative.
Yeah.
Like, in your mental projection, the most conservative you could be is a single return.
Yeah.
And that's
fair.
I think that's too conservative. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get more into it. I don't know if did we mention at the top that we're going to do the high price and then the mid price and then the low price? I don't think we even fucking mentioned that. Well,
no one's hearing it now if we are, but
yeah, it's an hour and 10 later. Maybe I'll make this a clip I posted the episode because I don't know, we're going deep in there.
Yeah.
There's actually not that many teams.
Not much else. Yeah, not much else to talk about with City. I mean, Kvara, all the other defenders are pretty vanilla. Rico Lewis might be something at some point. 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Man United. Yeah.
I mentioned Lissandro already. Just a mispricing. Auto in my team.
Yeah, probably similar. I mean, I'm going to have some 4 5s, and he's probably going to be one of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Bruno, 8-5.
I don't know. I'm sort of just like, I'm watching Garnacho, I'm watching Rashford, because obviously like they switch off every year. Is Rashford going to be 9-5 or 6 or 9-5 or 7 and like maybe break out again? I don't know. I'm low on their fixtures. Their opening fixtures are tough. Home Fulham, at Brighton, home Liverpool.
He might be overpriced.
It's probably going to end up just being Lissandro, if I had to guess. Yeah, I mean,
he might be overpriced. There's an argument for that.
I mean, imagine telling
it's just
anyone,
how many pens are they going to win? That's all it is.
That's all.
How many pens are they going to win? Are they going to win 9 like they used to, or are they going to get 4 like every other team?
Imagine telling a Man United fan, game week 30 last year, that you're going to come into the season with Ten Hag as your manager. They would just be like, "There's no fucking chance in the actual world. We have a new owner. We have all these manager rumors. He's a fucking nightmare. He's one of the dumbest managers in the entire league. He makes us actively worse all the time. There's no chance." And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we fucking are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one thing with Lissandro is, they don't have great opening fixtures outside of the Fulham game week 1. So, that's maybe more of a mid-long term. It depends kind of how you're setting your team up. But
yeah, that's true.
Garnacho, I think at 6-5 is a really interesting prospect because to me, it's like he's the kind of player that could take a significant leap forward this year.
It's him, Rashford, and Sancho. Like all 3 of them could break out.
Yeah, and I put the most faith in Garnacho, I think.
Yeah.
In where he could hit 180 this year, something like that.
I mean, Sancho's probably gonna. I assume his agent is doing everything in his power to get him out of there. With the fighting and bullying or whatever the hell happened.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, Rashford. You can't ignore Rashford.
Watch this.
I'm just saying, every other year he's fucking double digit to 17 goals range. And
this
then
he's the other year.
This is the other year. He scored 7 goals. He started 9 million last year, scored 7 goals. Never was a pick. No one ever owned him except game week 1. And then he gets a 2 million price decrease. He's fit as far as I know. He didn't go to fucking the tournament with England. Good pick, probably. I mean, at least one to watch, but
yeah, I need to see it a little bit because he looked so bad last year.
Yeah, it's just he's so streaky. So it's like as soon as he hits form, it's like okay, I'm in.
Newcastle, a lot of picks here.
Yeah, I mean, Isak is the main one for me.
Yeah. Isak, I can't imagine a world, barring him getting injured, that he's not on my game week 1 team. He feels like Eze, like one of the most nailed picks. Yeah. One of the most nailed picks.
You didn't mention that about Eze in the Palace. I didn't know he was, you kind of just said like he's fair and it's the right price. And I was like, yeah, same.
Yeah, he's 1,000,000% nailed, unless if he gets hurt. He
should be on pens too, and he's probably like out of everyone in the entire fucking league, probably number 1 guy who benefits the most from the bonus changes.
No,
fouls and shots on target.
Yeah, there's no world that he's not in my team. Game week 1 unless he gets injured. But
Isak is similar. Yeah,
Isak great. I mean, piss hair at 7.52 is very interesting to me.
To me, it was like very fair. I don't really know. Like, I don't think he's a 11 and 16 player, but then like I don't know, he just kept doing it, so maybe I should think he's that, but also they might sell him. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think he's more of like a 16-11 player.
16
and he has good
goals.
Openings. Yeah, I mean, I think he can do that. I mean, he played false 9,
dude.
I don't. I mean, dude, there are plenty of midfielders that get 16 goals in the league. I think he can do that.
There's honestly not.
I think he can. I think that is his level. Like that, he can get there. He's always I mean, last year he battled injury all season, and that might just be the way he is because he's so fast and high energy that he's just taking
you want the list
fouls
of
all the time.
Midfielders who scored 16 goals?
I'm sure it's like 4 players.
It's Foden and Bowen.
Good. So it's going to be Foden, Bowen, and Pisser this year.
No fucking chance he scores 16
ultimately,
goals.
We're not buying him for 38 again, right? And it's Southampton, Bournemouth, Spurs, Wolves. So, I mean, I feel like he's just also on the up where, he's bedded into Newcastle. The team, he knows everyone.
He had a summer break.
Very low squad turmoil. Yeah, like no Europe. He should be fantastic this year. Like I do expect him to score more points than last year, even though he had 183. So I really like him.
Yeah, I'm lower on him and really like him as a pick because of the fixtures.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so it's like, it's similar. But yeah, I don't know. There's rumors of him going to Liverpool. They need to make money for PSR. I'm like, what's going on? He's not going to Liverpool. What are you talking about? Like,
we have so many
guys.
He's like a Liverpool fan or something. But
right. Pope's fair. Trips is sort of interesting, but fair. I don't know. Everything else is fair.
Yeah.
The only other note I had on them is like, don't forget that Tonali's back because he's good and like he looked good and makes their midfield a lot better.
Yeah. He's not out for too much longer.
Yeah. NFO?
I've been seeing a lot of helium for sells because they have, pretty good opening fixtures. I don't know. About that.
He's not even nailed.
I think he's their first choice keeper. I mean, they
probably,
got this
but
new guy.
He's fucking awful, and they just bought another keeper. All they do is every window buy a keeper because they miss on every single one.
Yeah, but they do have good opening fixtures. Taiwo's always hurt.
Really good.
MGW 6-5 interesting. 4-5 defenders. There could be picks here. We have to see. This is a preseason team.
I just think their attack is so bad that I don't care. But maybe a 4-5 defender because Nuno. I mean, sure, Nuno could keep some cleans. I'm hip to that.
They just didn't keep any cleans last year, which was very bizarre.
They had like. I forget what it was. They were like a top 5 team underlying defensively. And then their keeper would just fuck something up.
The keeper was Matt Turner.
Set piece or something. It was just like every week disaster.
And sometimes within the first 5 minutes.
Yep. Absolutely. And then they would like would score a hat trick. And it's like, what's happening?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, one of the, another 4-5 defender. Yeah. Okay.
I could see that.
And then Spuds.
I have very little to say here.
Yeah, I mean, Van de Ven at 4-5 is something to just put in the. He's in the stable. He's in the stable.
Yeah,
maybe
he's in the stable. I'll give him that.
Yeah, maybe they get a little bit more cohesive with less injuries, and maybe they settle their 11 a little bit more, so they keep some more cleans, or at least look like they could keep cleans.
Yeah,
but other than Rich at 7 forward, who, isn't top of the charts for me by any stretch with the other picks in his price bracket, I just don't see a pick anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm not even remotely interested.
I'm with you. I mean, I think Matto, again, will be a bonus change benefactor. Like, shots on target, he gets fouled like almost as much as anyone in the league, so sure, maybe he finds his form that he had early season last season. We would have to see something in preseason, I think, to like believe in that. But yeah, Rich, I think, is just a good pick. Nothing really changed about Rich. But yeah, Vic at 5, the defenders at 5+. They concede goals and chances for fun. It just seems bad. Yeah.
Son,
not that much to say.
I don't know.
Son at 10. Yeah. That's rough because I don't know what the fuck they should have priced Son. And why isn't he a forward?
Maybe 9.5. Well, he played left wing a lot. I mean, when Rich was fit, he was like, that is his natural position. He was playing for it.
Yeah.
Kudus is really interesting me at Western at 6.5. I think he's a very strong contender for that price bracket and one of those players that could actually take a step forward. Like
he looked so good.
Yeah, he looks amazing, and he has bad underlyings. And
really bad.
I mean, look, Lopetegui is not an attacking manager, but what is Kudus good at? It's not breaking down buses. It's running into space and counterattacking.
Yeah.
So, if he tweaks it a little bit, so maybe it's not Bowen at the tip of the spear and it's Kudus, and they have these really nice patterns of play of, breaking out from their own bus. He could be great,
Yeah. I got nothing but good things to say about that. Probably won't make the team, but my post-mortem pick for like who's going to be my keeper and who might make my defender, we're both on West Ham if they're 4-5. Yep. Nothing's changed. I mean, if you look at Lopetegui's record, which I did, it's just absurd. Like he did 17 cleans back to back to back with Sevilla. And then when he came to Wolves, middle of the season, they were fucking relegation, one of the worst teams in the league. They still got 30% of their cleans and, had a really decent run there before they were safe of just good defending. Like, I just think that they're just going to farm cleans. I'm much higher on them defensively, I think, than what I expect most people to be. I just think he'll just immediately tighten them up and they'll just be good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. And, this to me is like Kelman and Areola. Look, really good to go.
Yeah.
The issue is just, the fixtures are kind of confusing because like the first three, home Villa, at Palace, home City, like I don't really want to start them for any of those.
Yeah. But I'm
at Fulham is like, okay, home Chelsea's like, at Brighton's like,
they're not great.
Yeah. It's just, it's strange with the 4 or 5 defenders and all these players that we're talking about. It seems like none of them have good fixtures.
Did your chair just break or something?
Yeah, no, I fucked it. It's okay. Nothing happened.
Okay, good. You're safe.
Like it feels like none of them have good fixture runs. Like the teams that have good fixtures, like are NFO. I'm like, I don't want any of these players. Yeah. So how we're gonna try and like make that puzzle fit is gonna be really hard as we keep. I mean,
it's probably not. It's probably just gonna be Areola for me and not a defender because I genuinely don't want to start them in like any of those games. Not until like maybe game week 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So there, to me, it's just like, why would I have him anyway? Yeah. But like Areola, I'm like, sure, he'll get saves, and you know what? They probably will clean 2 of those.
Yeah, they might
anyway.
have a couple cleans. Yeah, which is going to be at the same rate as any other team. So
So and like I want to hold him long term, and maybe I'll be saving 5 transfers because my team is so good. So that's my whole thing with West Ham.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And they also, they're going to add a couple players, so we'll see what they look like.
And then Wolves.
I mean, Aït-Nouri, he's so good, I mean, I don't know, love it. I love him.
Love him, yeah.
I always have.
I feel like he should be getting more interest from big teams.
Yeah. He's just an awkward player because he's really a wingback.
Yeah.
He's not a fullback.
Not a left back,
yeah, he's just not a fullback. But I mean, they open with Arsenal,
other than
Chelsea.
him, it's just shrug. I mean,
they open with Arsenal, Chelsea at NFO, Newcastle, Villa, Liverpool. I mean, I don't think I'm going to start with him as much as I love him, and I think he's probably like top 3 of the 4 or 5 defenders. Maybe I would put him in, but it's not until October when their fixtures change. So
it's a big shrug.
Wolves look like a stay away from game week 1, but Neto 6-5. We'll see. We'll see where they go. We'll see where they go. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude!
All right,
that was a throwback to episode 1 of FMLFPL. We just went alphabetical every team.
I didn't expect that, but we did it.
I didn't expect it either, but I think it made sense. Did it make sense to you?
Makes sense
do it
anymore?
that way? Yeah, that's a really good point.
I thought we were going to have more, like little 10-minute conversation about this, little 10-minute conversation about that, rather than like
I think it's kind of
comprehensive analysis. Yeah, we weaved it together, but
we weaved it. That's kind of why I thought it made sense because it was just like this is a way to like just talk about our process of what we saw and what like we want to flag almost as like this is a thing that I want to remember later because that's all this pod is. celebration of FPL being back.
It is a celebration pod.
It's a celebration.
Right. You're right. So next pod is going to be premium price picks.
Premium price picks.
Okay.
And then medium, and then low, and then Game Week 1 pod, and then we're fucking there with firesides in between.
Firesides in between.
We have some lined up already, so
yeah,
get fucking stuck in.
We do. So those will be out. So we're our schedule tentatively right now is we're going to sort of do our main episode on Monday.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a fireside Wednesday, mid to later week release.
Yeah.
But, our normal pod will be on Monday like we always have it. So you can plan for that between now and, the Friday, mid-August when Friday 16th. It's about a month away. Almost exactly a month away.
Almost exactly a month away.
So we'll probably give you about 8 pods before then.
And none will be behind the paywall. Good job by us.
Yeah.
Wow.
But pay us.
Please. And if you sign up, you get basically a month free if you buy a t-shirt because you get a discount code. Wow. Great job. Terrific.
Did you send me one of those?
Do you want one?
I do, dog.
Okay, I'll send you one.
You have any spares?
Yeah, I mean, I could just go on the website -1 from stock and just send you one.
I think you should do that.
All right, let me write it down so I don't forget. Okay.
Large. I'm not skinny anymore. I'm too fault.
Oh my God, extra large?
No, stop.
2XL? Dude, they're so big. So funny pulling out a 2XL. I'm like, wow.
Do they run big? What's this? Are you wearing medium?
I think this is medium.
I need large.
Yeah. You need a large.
I need large. My tummy's full of beer.
Let me slap asses. We haven't slapped in a while. Some people signed up, after the postmortem. Some people signed up today. Samuel Millette, Matthew Howells, Nez. Slap the ass, baby. Get in there. Thanks for signing up. Good season ahead for everyone. I expect all of us to fly. We will all be rank 1 through till we're not. Any last words, dude?
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, dude. Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL, sportsandpatreon.com/FMLFPL. Subscribe, leave, cheers.